Howdy, everyone. All right, so I'm finally back out in the shop. It's probably been at least a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer since I've been out here. I had just been tying up some more of these loose ends with the vinyl. You can see I've got some black lettering now within the yellow squares. The chevrons are done. I got some more lettering up here on the nose. I've got my Aero logo on the nose. Just trying to tie up some loose ends. Nothing exciting. Definitely nothing worth making a video over at the moment. So today is January 1st, 2025, and Happy New Year to all my faithful channel watchers. I appreciate you stopping in. What I'm going to work on now are the gear leg stiffeners. And the reason I'm redoing them is mainly because the first ones I made, I was not happy with. I was not happy with the way that they interacted, if you will, with the gear leg itself. I had made aluminum gear leg stiffeners, which I like the idea. I like the idea of using 1/8" aluminum, but I was not happy with using clamps to clamp around the gear leg to attach the stiffener. The leg is tapered, so you have to finagle with the clamps to get them to play nice with the leg itself. You can't use the cushions that come with the Adele clamps because the clamp itself is too big in diameter around the leg, and I couldn't get the fiberglass fairing on over top of that. So you have to take the rubber off of the clamps, but you still have to put something between the clamps and the gear leg, and I wasn't happy. Plus, I've switched over to carbon fiber gear legs, and they're different. They're a lot more stiff. They have a slightly different shape, and I knew that the clamps and my aluminum stiffener, those were not going to work. So I moved on to plan B, which is what I'm starting on now. Sorry for the weird voice. I got a little bit of a cold going on, so my voice sounds funny and I'm hacking and cracking all over the place, but I'll try to keep that to a minimum. So I've moved on to basically the Vans standard way of doing gear leg stiffeners. So I've got some wood, nothing fancy. These are actually scraps from some, what do I want to call it? Tongue and groove boards. The boards are about 4 inches wide. You kind of use it like for paneling. About 4 inches wide. They have this little tip area here that fits into a cutout area on the next piece. It's just a simple tongue and groove, whatever. These are who knows what. They could be pine. They could be titanium. Who knows? Not concerned. So these are some scrap pieces that I had from those tongue and groove strips. And I haven't done anything to these other than I've cut this back side at an angle. Kind of like what the Vans drawings talk about and the written instructions. They talk about cutting these at a little bit of an angle. And when you put the two pieces together, that will make like a V shape that will help fit to the round gear leg. So I ripped these at an angle. I don't remember what the angle was. I don't even remember what the Vans instructions recommend, but it's a very shallow angle. I think these are like 10 degrees or 15 degrees. And it will make more sense when I get these together. So the plan is to stack these on top of each other like this. Actually, they'll go this way. And then that cutouts will form like a V notch, again, to fit around, to help fit kind of that around the curved gear leg. I believe the Vans instructions call these out at 27 inches, so that's actually going to be too long, which is fine. So I measured out 27 inches and marked it with a pencil. And you can see I put some, again, just some leftover stain that I had. I stained them up to that 27-inch mark all the way around. And then I put a coat of clear over top of the stain all the way around on all 4 pieces. So now that they're ripped at an angle, they've been stained to protect the wood, they've been clear coated to protect the wood, I'm going to go ahead and fuel tank seal these together. So I'll have a left leg and a right leg. Reason I'm going with fuel tank sealant is because this is how my mind works, right? These are going to be attached to one another and they're going to bend in this orientation. So in theory, one strip is going to bend differently than the other strip, even though they're attached, right? So there's going to be relative movement between the two. And I didn't like the idea of having them basically permanently attached to one another with some kind of an epoxy. I wanted something that was a little bit more flexible in between these, so relative to each other they can move around and shift. That's an exaggeration, but that's how my mind works. So I'm going to go ahead and put a coating of fuel tank sealer on here. Then I'm going to stack this piece to it, clamp them together, and let it dry. And then at that point, I'll cut them off at that 27-inch mark, and then I'll start fitting them to the gear leg itself. So that's the plan. I've got my supplies out. I got a brand new set of fuel tank sealant and hardener. I'll measure that out by weight, mix it up, and then I'm just going to slather that on these pieces and clamp them together. I'm going to put the camera on a tripod while I do that. Again, just so I have something that I can put on my channel, and we'll go from there. So let me get this camera set up. I'll get my fuel tank sealant mixed, and I'll talk to you guys here in a second. So here are the gear leg stiffeners, fuel tank sealed to one another and clamped. And let me see if I can get a good angle here on the way that the wood is cut, again, to create kind of a shallow V-notch for the round gear leg stiffener to kind of sit into. That is not an exact science. I don't know off the top of my head what Vans recommends that you cut that angle to, but I think I cut mine at 15, if I remember correctly. I think Vans recommends more like 30, but that seemed to be too much in my opinion. So I just cut these, I believe, at 15. And stuck them together with fuel tank sealant. So I'm going to let these dry for quite a while. I'm going to leave them clamped. I'll check on them from time to time just to make sure that the orientation between the two is good. I don't want them shifting in this fashion. But other than checking the alignment, these are going to sit untouched for quite a while. Make sure that fuel tank sealant sets up really good. So in the meantime, I think I'll probably go back to wingtips, try to get the wingtips vinyled, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to beat that. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for stopping in. Happy New Year, and I will talk to you guys later.